In the vastness of space, the Galactic Council's headquarters loomed like a colossal, shimmering jewel. The Council was a grand space station, home to representatives from various alien races. Its halls were filled with the hum of advanced technology and the buzz of interstellar diplomacy. Today, however, the atmosphere was tense. The Council had decided to send a decisive message to Earth. The message was clear and unambiguous. Earth must comply with their demands or face dire consequences. The Galactic Council was known for its formidable power, and the threat was serious. This wasn't just idle talk. The Council had a reputation for making their threats a reality. On Earth, the transmission arrived as a chilling broadcast. The President of Earth, a stern and determined leader named Evelyn Carter, watched the message with growing concern. Her face, usually calm and composed, now showed a mix of anger and fear. The room was filled with key advisors and military leaders who had gathered to discuss the message. "People of Earth," the alien representative's voice echoed through the room. "The Galactic Council demands immediate compliance with our terms. Failure to do so will result in your destruction. This is your only warning." The broadcast cut off abruptly, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. The room erupted into a flurry of activity. Military leaders argued over the best course of action, while diplomatic advisors debated the possible responses. The tension was palpable. President Carter took a deep breath and addressed her team. "We cannot allow ourselves to be intimidated. We need to show that we are not afraid and that we will defend our planet at all costs." General Markson, a battle-hardened veteran, nodded in agreement. "We've been preparing for such a scenario. Our defenses are strong and our technology is advanced, but we need to act quickly." The president agreed. "I want every resource mobilized immediately. We will respond to this threat with strength and resolve. I'll address the public tonight and make our stance clear." As evening fell, the president stood before a sea of reporters and cameras. The entire world watched as she spoke. Her voice was steady, but her words were firm. "Today, we received a threat from the Galactic Council. They have demanded our surrender or face destruction. Let me be clear, Earth will not yield. We will defend ourselves and protect our home. To the Galactic Council, I say this: run or face our wrath." Her words resonated with determination and defiance. The public reaction was mixed. Some were frightened by the enormity of the threat, while others were inspired by the president's courage. Across the globe, people discussed the message, speculated on what might happen next, and began to prepare for the possibility of conflict. In military command centers, plans were drawn up for possible scenarios. Scientists and engineers worked round the clock, testing and perfecting new defense technologies. Everyone knew that the coming days would be crucial. As the Galactic Council's ultimatum hung in the air, the people of Earth were united by a common cause. The threat from space was real, but so was their resolve to fight back. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test humanity's strength and courage. And so, with the Galactic Council's challenge echoing across the stars, Earth prepared for the unknown. The first chapter of this interstellar conflict had begun, and both sides braced for what was to come. The fate of the planet rested on the choices made in the days ahead. As the Galactic Council's threat continued to ripple through Earth's news channels, the situation grew increasingly dire. The Council's ultimatum had ignited a sense of urgency across the globe. Every country was on high alert, and the world's leaders were grappling with the looming possibility of an interstellar conflict. In a high-security command center, President Evelyn Carter and her top advisors gathered to formulate Earth's response. The room was abuzz with activity as generals, diplomats, and scientists discussed their options. The tension was palpable, each individual aware of the weight of their decisions. General Markson, a veteran of many conflicts, stood by a large holographic map of Earth and space. His face was lined with concern. "We've assessed the Council's capabilities. They're powerful, but we're not without defenses. We need to send a clear message that we're prepared to fight." Dr. Alice Chen, a leading scientist working on advanced defense systems, nodded in agreement. "Our new technology is nearly ready. If we can deploy it quickly, we might have a fighting chance. But we need to show strength now." President Carter took a deep breath, her mind racing through the possibilities. "We must make it clear that Earth will not bow to their demands. I want a response that leaves no room for doubt. We must warn them that any attack will be met with our full might." The room fell silent as everyone processed the president's directive. Diplomatic Chief Marcus Lee, who had been working tirelessly to negotiate with alien species, spoke up. "We have to be cautious. We don't want to escalate the situation unnecessarily. But a strong, clear warning might just be what we need to buy some time and show our resolve." After hours of intense discussions, Earth's response was drafted. The message was firm and unyielding, designed to convey both strength and resolve. The president prepared to address the public once more, knowing the importance of this moment. That evening, President Carter appeared before the world's media. Her demeanor was resolute, and her message was crafted to leave no room for misinterpretation. "People of Earth," she began, her voice steady and commanding, "we have received a new communication from the Galactic Council. They continue to threaten our planet with destruction if we do not comply with their demands. Let me be very clear. Earth will not surrender. We have the strength and the will to defend ourselves. We have issued a warning to the Galactic Council: run or face our wrath. We are prepared for whatever comes next." Her address was broadcasted worldwide, reaching every corner of the globe. The impact was immediate. Citizens felt a surge of national pride and unity. Social media buzzed with support for the president and the military. Across the world, people began to make preparations, from stocking up on supplies to participating in community defense drills. In the command center, the response team watched as the Galactic Council received Earth's warning. The Council's leaders, a diverse group of alien species with varying features and temperaments, gathered in their meeting room. The atmosphere was thick with tension as they reviewed the message. "Earth has issued a challenge," one of the council members said, their voice a mix of curiosity and irritation. "They dare to defy us." Another council member, a towering figure with a commanding presence, responded, "We must decide our next move carefully." Their response indicates they are not to be underestimated. "We must prepare for all possibilities." Back on Earth, as the council deliberated, the people braced themselves for the potential conflict. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, perfecting new defensive measures. Military units were mobilized, ready to respond at a moment's notice. President Carter, fully aware of the gravity of the situation, continued to monitor developments closely. Her leadership was crucial as Earth faced its most significant challenge. As the Galactic Council's next move remained uncertain, Earth's preparation continued. The warning had been issued, and the stage was set for an epic confrontation. The fate of the planet now hinged on the choices made by both sides in the days to come. The days following President Carter's warning were filled with intense preparation. Earth's military and scientific teams worked around the clock, driven by a sense of urgency and determination. The Galactic Council's threat loomed large, and the need to be ready for anything had never been more critical. In a hidden underground facility, Dr. Alice Chen and her team labored tirelessly. Their work involved finalizing a new defense system designed to counter the advanced technology of the Galactic Council. The lab was filled with the hum of machinery and the clatter of tools as scientists made last-minute adjustments. "Almost there," Dr. Chen said, wiping sweat from her brow. "This new defense system should give us a significant advantage. We just need to get it deployed and tested." Her colleague, Engineer Raj Patel, nodded in agreement. "We've done everything we can to ensure it works flawlessly. The pressure is on, but we're ready." Meanwhile, General Markson and his team were busy coordinating Earth's military forces. Soldiers trained rigorously, drilling day and night to prepare for the potential invasion. The once peaceful military bases were now bustling with activity, their usually quiet grounds filled with the sounds of engines and the clatter of weaponry. In a command briefing, General Markson addressed his officers. "We're facing an unprecedented threat, but we've prepared for this. Our defenses are strong and our soldiers are ready. We must remain vigilant and adapt to any situation." Across the globe, nations united in their efforts. Defense systems were upgraded and alliances between countries strengthened. The sense of camaraderie and shared purpose was palpable. Humanity, usually divided by differences, now stood together against a common enemy. In civilian life, people also took action. Communities organized neighborhood watch programs, and emergency services conducted drills to ensure readiness. The threat from space had become a rallying point, and the spirit of resilience was evident everywhere. Back in the command center, President Carter closely monitored the situation. She understood the importance of maintaining morale and ensuring that every resource was utilized effectively. Her speeches inspired confidence and determination among the people, and her leadership was crucial during this time. "Prepare for every possible scenario," President Carter instructed her advisors. "We must show the Galactic Council that Earth is not to be underestimated. Our strength lies in our unity and our resolve." As the Galactic Council's invasion fleet drew nearer, the urgency intensified. Earth's scientists and engineers continued their final tests and adjustments, ensuring that every defense system was primed and ready. The military's readiness drills reached their peak, with soldiers and officers fine-tuning their strategies. In a high-tech control room, Dr. Chen and her team conducted a final test of the new defense system. The room was filled with tension as they activated the system and monitored its performance. "Everything looks good," Dr. Chen announced, her eyes fixed on the glowing screens. "We're ready for action." The mood in the command center was one of steely determination. Every member of Earth's defense force, from the president to the frontline soldiers, understood the gravity of the situation. They were prepared for the confrontation, knowing that their actions would determine the future of their world. As Earth's defenses were put in place, the Galactic Council continued to plot their strategy. Their fleet was a formidable force, and their leaders debated the best approach to ensure their victory. The Council's preparations were just as intense, and the coming battle promised to be fierce. With the countdown to the invasion growing shorter, Earth stood on the brink of a crucial conflict. The buildup had been intense, but the real test was yet to come. Both sides braced for the inevitable clash, knowing that the outcome would shape the future of their worlds. The stage was set, and as the final preparations concluded, the focus shifted to the impending battle. Earth's defenders were ready, and the Galactic Council's resolve was unwavering. The conflict that had been building for weeks was about to reach its dramatic climax. The day had arrived. The sky above Earth was now streaked with the ominous shadows of the Galactic Council's invasion fleet. Massive, sleek spacecraft loomed over the planet, their intimidating forms cutting through the atmosphere like dark clouds. Earth's defense systems were in full alert, ready for the impending battle. In the command center, President Evelyn Carter and General Markson stood side by side, eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching alien fleet. The room was filled with the hum of technology and the low murmur of urgent conversations. "It's starting," General Markson said, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Our defenses are holding, but we need to stay sharp. The initial waves are targeting our major cities." President Carter nodded, her face set in a determined expression. "We've prepared for this. The new defense systems are operational. Let's ensure we make every shot count." In cities across the globe, panic mingled with resolve. Sirens wailed as people rushed to shelters, while soldiers took their positions. The skies above major cities were filled with the lights and sounds of defense systems coming online. The streets were eerily quiet, except for the steady hum of military vehicles and the hurried footsteps of civilians seeking safety. In New York City, a key target for the invaders, the streets were a flurry of activity. Soldiers and emergency responders coordinated efforts to shield critical infrastructure. Anti-aircraft batteries were deployed, their powerful guns trained on the dark shapes of the alien ships hovering above. "Hold the line!" shouted Commander Jake Ellis, leading a squad of soldiers. The anti-aircraft guns roared to life, sending a barrage of shells toward the approaching spacecraft. The air was filled with the sharp crack of gunfire and the distant explosions as alien ships were hit. The alien fleet's ships, designed with advanced technology, retaliated with laser beams and plasma blasts. The sky lit up with fiery bursts of energy, and the ground shook with the impact of the attacks. The battle was fierce, and the stakes were high. Every second counted as Earth's defenders fought back with everything they had. In the control room of the command center, Dr. Alice Chen monitored the defense systems. Her fingers flew over the controls, making adjustments to optimize the system's performance. "The new defenses are working, but we need to focus on those massive cruisers. They're breaking through our outer defenses." Across the battlefield, the Galactic Council's forces advanced relentlessly. Their ships were equipped with advanced weaponry and shields, designed to overwhelm any resistance. The Council's strategy was clear: to crush Earth's defenses and establish dominance quickly. As the battle raged on, President Carter addressed the nation once more, her voice broadcasted through every available channel. "People of Earth, we are under attack, But we will not falter. Our defenders are fighting bravely. We must remain strong and united. Together we will push back this invasion and protect our home." Her words resonated with courage and determination, inspiring the global population. Volunteers and reserve soldiers joined the fight, and the sense of unity became a driving force for Earth's defense. In space, the battle continued with increasing intensity. Earth's forces had managed to inflict significant damage on the invading fleet, but the Council's ships pressed on with relentless determination. The conflict was brutal, with both sides demonstrating their strength and resilience. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the battle seemed to reach a critical point. The skies were streaked with fire and smoke, and the ground was littered with debris. The outcome of this first wave of the invasion was uncertain, and both sides prepared for the ongoing fight. In the command center, President Carter and General Markson watched the battle unfold with a mix of hope and anxiety. The stakes were high, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. The battle had begun, and it was clear that this was only the beginning of a larger and more daunting conflict. As the night settled over the battlefield, the sounds of war echoed across the planet. Earth's defenders stood firm, their resolve unwavering in the face of the Galactic Council's assault. The invasion had begun, and the fight for survival had entered a critical phase. The battle for Earth had raged on for hours, and the night was filled with the sounds of war. But as dawn approached, a new hope began to rise. The Galactic Council's invasion had met fierce resistance, and Earth's defenders, driven by determination and unity, were pushing back with everything they had. In the command center, President Evelyn Carter and General Markson were focused on the holographic display. The alien fleet had suffered heavy losses, and Earth's defenses were holding strong. Despite the devastation, a flicker of optimism began to emerge. "We're turning the tide," General Markson said, his voice filled with cautious hope. "Our forces have managed to push back the invaders. The outer fleet is breaking apart." Dr. Alice Chen, who had been tirelessly working to monitor and adjust the defense systems, looked up from her console. "The new defense technology is proving effective. We've managed to disable several of their key ships." The atmosphere in the command center was tense but hopeful. Earth's military forces continued their relentless assault on the alien fleet, and the combined efforts of soldiers, scientists, and civilians were starting to pay off. The skies, once filled with the dark silhouettes of alien ships, now showed signs of clearing. In New York City, the streets that had been a battleground were now alive with renewed energy. Soldiers and emergency responders worked together to clear debris and treat the wounded. The city's defenses had held, and the people, despite the scars of battle, were beginning to breathe a sigh of relief. Commander Jake Ellis, who had led the anti-aircraft units, surveyed the damage. "We've pushed them back from the city. Our forces are consolidating, and we're securing the area." As the sun began to rise, its rays casting a golden glow over the battlefield, the tide of the conflict began to shift decisively. Earth's defenders, fueled by their unity and resilience, mounted a final coordinated push against the remaining alien ships. In space, the remaining Galactic Council fleet was in disarray. The once formidable ships were now struggling against the relentless assault. The command ships, critical to the Council's strategy, were being targeted with precision, their defenses overwhelmed by the combined might of Earth's forces. The alien leaders, watching from their flagship, were visibly shaken. "Their defenses are stronger than we anticipated," one of them said, frustration evident in their voice. "We must retreat and regroup." As the order to withdraw was given, the remaining alien ships began to retreat from Earth's atmosphere. The once dominant fleet, now battered and broken, moved away from the planet, leaving behind a scene of devastation and victory. In the command center, cheers erupted as the news of the retreat spread. President Carter and General Markson exchanged a look of relief and triumph. "We did it," the president said, her voice filled with emotion. "We've defended our planet." The victory was not without cost. The battle had left its mark, and there was much work to be done in the aftermath. But the people of Earth had shown their strength and resilience. The alien threat had been repelled, and the planet had held its ground. As the sun rose higher, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. Earth's defenders began the process of recovery, repairing damage and tending to those affected by the conflict. The battle had been hard fought, but the unity and bravery of humanity had prevailed. President Carter addressed the world once more, her voice carrying a message of gratitude and hope. To everyone who stood with us, fought for us, and supported us, thank you. Today, we celebrate our victory and remember the sacrifices made. Together, we have shown that Earth will not be defeated. As celebrations began and the world slowly returned to normal, the memory of the battle would remain a testament to humanity's courage. The Galactic Council's invasion had been a test of Earth's strength, and the planet had emerged victorious. The conflict had forged a new sense of unity and pride, marking a defining moment in human history.